Hello, folks. Joey Kelly here. This is the Bangor and Aroostook 62 motor car. It is a Fairmont M19 speeder, vintage 1944 to 1947. Does not have a serial number. We have not been able to have it dated. And it has been operable for just over 3 years. This car was in Narcoa inspected on June 19th, 2014. It is now July 23rd, 2017. And there's been a few modifications since this car was restored and activated. We had an air horn mounted here on the roof. Well, the vibration proved to kill the horns faster than we could replace them. So we've gone ahead and put a more traditional horn here down in the tunnel, mounted right next to the engine. Also modified has the DX ignition coil now. Apologize, bright sun here all of a sudden. Not really able to show you the DX too well. But that's mounted also inside the engine tunnel, whatnot. Aside from that, the only real modifications that have been done to this car have been very minor and whatnot. We have added, and this just happened very recently, a second toolbox to the car. Really, honestly, that's about it. Everything else has just been oil and gas and cranking and a few switch flips here and there. But this time it's actually getting a serious upgrade. I have been coerced, convinced that a Fairmont-style rubber continuous belt is the way to go for these, to have instead of the seamed belt that we have been using, which is right here. It's a traditional flat belt, has a lacing in it to allow it to be removed very easily. It also, unfortunately, stretches very easily and offers fairly poor performance. So we're going to be taking that off and replacing it with a Fairmont belt. Wish us luck. Alright, so stage one. Using a 3-ton floor jack on the concrete pad, we have placed 4 jack stands underneath the car, raising it up by well over 10 inches, probably closer to a foot on the rear, and we've got it reasonably level so that we can get underneath of it. Now's the fun part. Alright, so this is the challenge. This is the rear passenger side, if you will, as in not operator side, of the motor car. And the problem is that the continuous belt needs to go over here to this pulley. There's no brake in this belt, so you can't just pull the belt apart and run it around as we've done before with the sectional belt. So that means we have to slip it over this shaft, and that means getting it over and around both the frame and this bearing block, which means the bolts, you can see 2 of them on the bottom, and then there's 3 more on the top due to a repair that was made on this car, have to come completely out. And then we need to slide the belt over the axle, around the bearing block, and on to where it needs to be. Alright, folks, update. The new belt is on. The belt tensioner has been adjusted. New belt is right here, right there, right there. And it is in. We are currently working on getting the bearing block put back together. You'll notice that the frame is disconnected from it. That was done for clearance. And we're about to replace the bolts on that and put it back together.